altars, not all, but most altars in Catholic churches have a relic within them. And this relic, you can't really see it that much, but it's right here. And that's why whenever I come and I go like this, I'm kissing the altar, which is a symbol of Christ. So it's greeting the Lord, saying, it's good to be here with you, Lord. But there's also the relic of a saint that's here that I'm saying. St. Robert Bellarmine and St. Charles Borromeo are two saints whose relics are here. You might say, well, okay, what's a relic? Well, remember, there's first-class relic, second-class relic, third-class relic. Third-class relic is something like cloth or a holy card or a rosary that has touched the body of a saint. And then it becomes a third-class relic. One of my priests in the Marians, Father Seraphim, he actually met Padre Pio, Saint Padre Pio. And he came over and he said, "Can I have a blessing?" And Padre Pio was kind of a funny guy. So he's like, "You wanted a blessing." So he takes his hand, he kind of slaps him on the head a couple times. He's like, "I give you the blessing." So Padre Pio is a saint. And he touched Father Seraphim's head. So in a certain sense, Father Seraphim's head is a third-class relic. If you have a rosary, and maybe you put it next to, there was that time several years ago we went to see the relics of St. Maria Goretti, or when the relics came here and people were taking rosaries and putting it, or a miraculous medal. Those are third-class relics. Second-class relic is something that the saint actually owned. So in Darien, there is a St. Therese shrine. And there's actually her little tambourine and her little bouncy ball when she was 3 or 5 years old that she used to play with. Those are second-class relics. And there's a little chair that she would sit on. First-class relics is actually a part of the saint themselves. So it might be part of their hair. It could be part of their bone. It could be part of them in that way. And so this is actually a first-class relic. So there's a part of St. Robert Bellarmine right here in our church. And we might say, well, that's kind of weird. But you know what's really cool about being Catholic is we sort of have everything. We have the best of art. We have the best of music. But we also have really weird, cool things as well. Like in a couple days, you won't be here for the Mass, but there's a saint, St. Januarius. And guess what happens on his particular feast day? On his particular feast day, there's a relic of his blood. They actually have his blood in a little container. And it actually liquefies mysteriously. Imagine that. I mean, isn't that weird? But that's the amazing thing, that God sometimes gives us these sort of weird things to also perk our interest, to be like, wow, there seems to be more than just what I can see. There's a little more mystery to our world. And so the relics of saints, why we venerate relics, why we have these relics that are the bones of saints, actually comes from the time of great persecution. The time in which the church had to celebrate Mass in hiding. And they actually had to celebrate Mass underground in the catacombs and in areas where they were tombs, underground tombs. And so there would be the bodies of different saints who gave their lives for the gospel. And guess where they would celebrate Mass? They would actually celebrate Mass right over the body of that saint, over that tomb. And so they remembered that the body of a saint and our bodies are not merely things that we just kind of throw away once we die. It's not like, well, I won't see that again. But that body is always connected to us. And so the saints who are in heaven, awaiting for the resurrection of their body, when we venerate their bodies here, it's a very, very real way of being very, very close to our saints, our special big brothers and sisters who are in heaven helping us. So that's why we have relics. It's kind of weird, but it's kind of awesome at the same time, that we're able to be so close to the saints that are in heaven, that are not just way up there, but they're actually really, really with us in a way when one of their Relics is with us. So that's a little bit of teaching on relics, and every time you see me kiss this area right here, I'm actually praying to St. Robert Bellarmine and St. Charles Borromeo, whose bones are actually right